done nothing.
Thank you. Earlier today, a fan meeting event for BTS located in Kota Kinabalu took a surprising turn when band member Suga was involved in an altercation. Dr. Ridwan, a lecturer who has attacked Suga 6 months ago in Shah Alam, attended the event intending to apologize. However, when Suga saw Dr. Ridwan, he reacted in anger and attempted to punch him. Dr. Ridwan managed to dodge the punch, which then hit another fan standing behind him. The fan, identified as Rifki, sustained minor injuries but was quickly attended to. Suga's team was not commented on the incident yet, but it has raised concerns about Suga's mental well-being as he has been recovering from the trauma of previous attack. The authorities are currently investigating the matter, and fans remaining divided in their reactions, with many expressing concerns for both Sugas and those involved. Back to you. So now we are at the location where there are several witnesses that are with me today. Please introduce you guys' name.
My name is Farid Helmi.
My name is Jojo.
Okay. So as you guys, as the witnesses of the altercation that happened today, so what can you share with us that what has happened during the altercation, and that what would you like to share with us?
You know, we are a big fans of BTS, so we are waiting for Suga to perform back for 6 months, because we know the incidents that happened for him 6 months ago. But today, when he debuted back, he do that. So I'm so sad, because at the time, at the fan meeting, I really want to meet him. I want to hug him, because I really love him. But he do that.
Oh, me. I saw someone that is really handsome and muscular. So I saw Suga really angry at the time. She want to punch that man. I don't know what is the conflict between them. So the man that is handsome dodged the Suga punch. He was like, you know, Rotang.
Okay, thank you so much, and back to the anchor.
So, the factual issue in this case is whether action of Suga punching Rifki unintentionally due to Dr. Ridwan evade act can be justified under any available defences in the penal code, given the circumstances of Suga's mental health condition, diagnosed with psychomania and provocation caused by the unexpected encounter with Dr. Ridwan, who previously attacked him. So, the legal issue in this case, whether Suga act punching Dr. Ridwan in which unintentionally struck Rifki can be excused or justified under defence provided in the penal code, such as insanity of soundness mind due to his psychopenia.
So prior to this case, Section 84 of the Penal Code has been exist. But Section 84 and the case of Daniel Magneton have different interpretation towards what is lead to the unsoundness of mind, which is here. Section 84 of the Penal Code have recognized defense of unsoundness of mind, which is Section 84 states that nothing is an offense which is done by a person at the time of doing it, by the reason of unsoundness of mind, and he incapable of knowing the nature of the act, and either his act is wrong and contrary to the law. So in a simple way, these are 3 elements that need to be proved in order for the defense of unsoundness of mind can be raised or succeed, which is stated by the Penal Code, which is first, he must suffer unsoundness of mind at the time of doing it, and he must committed the crime by the reason of unsoundness of mind, and he, by the reason of unsoundness of mind, have incapable of knowing the act, which is the nature of the act, and either his act is wrong and contrary to the law. So let's moving on to the first element, which is at the time of doing it. So the accused must at the time of doing it suffered unsoundness of mind, and he must committed the crime at the time due to the unsoundness of mind at the time of doing it, and not before committed the crime and after committed the crime. So in the case of Public Prosecutor and Misbah bin Saad, the court held that the accused can be acquitted or the accused can raise the defense of insanity or unsoundness of mind if he can prove at the time of doing it he suffered unsoundness of mind, and it must happen at the time and not before or after. If it can be proved that at the time of doing it he suffered unsoundness of mind, this defense can be raised. So moving on to the second element, which is by the reason of unsoundness of mind. So in a simple way, accused want to raise the defense of unsoundness of mind, he must at the time of committing the crime suffered unsoundness of mind. This can be seen in the case of public prosecutor and Juso. So in this case, accused have killed one man and have inflicted injuries to 2 young men. So the court held that in this case, the offense or crime committed by the accused is caused by the mental disorder which is made cause him to do that crime. So by this case, it can be seen that by the reason of unsoundness of mind, the accused have committed a crime, and if this can be proved, then the second element is fulfilled.
The third element is incapable of knowing. A person may be generally have the mental ability to understand the nature of their action or know that their action are wrong or contrary to the law. However, they might not have actually be aware of this specific moment of the crime committed. As in the case of Lakshmi and State, the ability to know something different from actually knowing the former refers to potential or capability, while the latter is outcome. Section 84 protects individuals, those who mental capacity distinguish between right and wrong or legal or illegal action is completely lost. However, if this ability is present, even to a small degree, a person cannot claim protection under this criminal. A person cannot avoid criminal responsibility simply because they have mental illness. It must be proven the mental illness was severe, incompletely impaired the person's ability to, firstly, nature of the act. Archie and public prosecutor, this case clarified that incapable to know under Section 84 requires evidence of mental incapacity, affecting individual understanding of the action. The nature act refers to the physical nature or consequences of the act. Emphasize that if an individual cannot claim or differentiate what they are doing as wrong, they might not be held criminally liable. Another case is John Newby and public prosecutor. In this case, it was held that to prove or to raise the defense insanity must be proved that whether the accused person has successfully established as preliminary issue that the time committing act was unsound of mind, and if unsound of mind, whether he has proven his unsoundness of mind was a degree to make him incapable of knowing of the nature of his act being wrong or against the law.
You cannot avoid criminal responsibility simply because they have a mental illness. It must be proven that the mental illness was so severe that it's completely impaired the person's ability to that he is doing what is either wrong or contrary to the law. In the case of public prosecutor and Sukardin Said, the accused was charged with the murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code for causing the death of his fellow workers. The Court of Appeal affirmed the High Court decision by the reasoning on the ground of insanity under Section 84 of the Penal Code, finding that the accused was incapable of understanding the nature of his actions and that they were wrong or contrary to the law. The fact that the accused suffered from paranoid schizophrenia was under delusion at the time of the accidents. We also can see in the case of public prosecutor and Shalima B, where the court held that the accused was in command of her mental facility when she killed the deceased, and the defense of unsoundness of mind was established, as the accused was not capable of knowing that her act was wrong or contrary to the law. In this case, the accused was alleged to have poured hot oil on the deceased, causing her death. According to the expert evidence, which is forensic secretary, the accused did suffer the philosophic disorder, severe depression, hallucination and delusion, apart from borderline personality disorder. It was the opinion of the SD2, which is forensics, that the accused was suffering from mental illness, which would susceptibility impair her mental responsibility for her act. Borderline personality disorder was not the only disorder the accused suffered. Obviously, the accused's mental illness had impaired her cognitive faculty, as she was described by the SD2 as an abnormal person and her brain function consisted only 10% of normal persons. Lastly, if the accused is held to be not liable by reason of unsoundness of mind under Section 84 of the Penal Code, the case is resolved by placing the accused in safe custody as the discretion of the state ruler. This typically involves safe custody in a mental hospital as provided under Section 347 and 348 of the Criminal Procedure Code, as what was ruled in the case of Public Prosecutor and Kaha Salihin.
So, for the application, to apply in the recent case, Sugah can use Section 84 of the Penal Code, which is unsoundness of mind, to defend himself of the action of punching Rifki. So, Sugah has suffered from schizophrenia, which has caused by Dr. Ridwan, which has caused him to be trauma. In order for Sugah to use Section 84, he to fulfill 3 elements of the unsoundness of mind, which is the first one is at the time of doing it, the second one is by reason of unsound mind, and the third one is capable of knowing. So the first element is at the time of doing it. Sugah need to consume medication, which is the time is for 4 hours, which need to cool him down. According to the case of Public Prosecutor and Misbah bin Saad, Sugah can raise the defense of insanity. This is because Sugah's action of punching Rizki was out of his control, which we can assume that because of the anger, it's triggered the because of the schizophrenia medicine effect has worn off. We can assume that he has not consumed the medicine from the 4 hours before, and the effect has worn off, which caused him to be angry. The anger shows that he is not calm and can give the assumption of the medicine effect has worn off and trigger his trauma and act out of control during the event of the punching. So we can conclude that his schizophrenia attack during the fan meeting because of the effect of medicine has worn off, which is 4 hours.
Next, the second element is by reason of unsoundness of mind. Schizophrenia is serious mental health conditions that affects how people think, feel, and behave. It may result of a mix of hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking and behavior. Sugah's behavior can change if he does not take his medicine on time. Referring to the case of Juso against Public Prosecutor, Sugah's action to punch Dr. Ridwan was by reason of unsoundness of mind or because of his schizophrenia. His medicine effect may have passed due of 4 hours and he forgot to take it again, which made him angry that led that to act out of control. Moreover, the last element is incapable of knowing. As a reference to the case of Lakshmi against State, Sugah has been diagnosed from schizophrenia, mental illness that affect his mental capacity to think rationally and control his own emotions. However, when he stumbles upon Dr. Ridwan, the medication intake was surpassed by 4 hours. Hence, his mental capacity returned to the defect state. The surpassing of a medication intake combined with his mental illness impairs his ability to differentiate between right and wrong. At that moment, thus acting impulsively. In order to prove there is a severe impairment of mental illness suffered by Sugah, there are 2 requirements that necessary to fulfill. First one is the nature of the act, and second one is that either wrong or contrary to the law. By virtue to the case of Lee Ah Chai against Public Prosecutor, his condition likely made him incapable of comprehending both the physical nature of his act by punching someone and the consequences of it. Apart from that, Sugah may not have been able to discern that his actions were wrong. These principles also aligns in regards to the case of John Nyumbe against Public Prosecutor.
Additionally, the action is either wrong or contrary to the law. Sugah's schizophrenic disease plus a 4-hour delay in taking his medication likely affected his mental state at the time of the incident. Similar to the case of PP and Sukadi Said, where the accused pronounced schizophrenia made him incapable of understanding his action. Sugah's mental state likely prevented him from knowing his action was wrong and or against the law. This principle is also consistent with the case of PP and Shalima B. If Sugah is found not liable under Section 8(4), he will be placed in self-custody rather than being in prison. Section 347 and 348 of the Criminal Procedure Code said that he will be placed in a mental hospital By virtue of the case of PP and Kahar Salihin, this will guarantee Sugah to receive treatment and public safety is maintained. In conclusion, Sugah act of punching Dr. Ridwan, in which unintentionally struck Rifki, may rely on defense of unsoundness of mind or insanity under Section 84 of Penal Code, as he fulfilled all of the elements that is required. That's all from us. Thank you.